Hello everyone. I am back today to talk about gestational diabetes. Now, whether you are pregnant with just one baby or if you are in the middle of a multiple pregnancy, gestational diabetes does affect a lot of women out there. And when I was doing my research each time with each pregnancy, my first pregnancy was in 2009, 2010. My second one was 2012, 2013, and now I'm currently pregnant with my second set of twins, so my fourth and fifth child. And I've had gestational diabetes each time. I was definitely not very successful with managing the diabetes my first time. I was very uninformed, and there wasn't a lot of guidance back in 2009, 2010 for me on how I should manage the diabetes. I ended up gaining, I think, a total of 50 pounds with my singleton, my oldest daughter, who is now 7, about to be 8. And then I gained 50 pounds with my girl set of twins that are going to be 5 in June. So far with this pregnancy, I'll be 32 weeks on Friday. So in just a few days, I have only gained a total of 36 pounds, which is phenomenal for me. Now I will put on some more weight towards the end, but I do think that I'm managing it really well. I feel, I'm pregnant with twins, so I'm tired and my body hurts, but none of that I can attribute to my sugar levels. I really do feel like I'm feeling great with that end of things. Now, I found several coping mechanisms to help make it easier on me. Now, I found out that I was diabetic with this pregnancy at 24 weeks. So just a little under 6 weeks now that I have been managing the diabetes with diet. Strictly low carb. My husband and I did a Whole30 in 2014 or was it 2015? I think it was 2015, where I did learn a lot about different foods and the way that it affects sort of your chemical makeup. And I learned which foods I am sensitive to. Of course, glutens, for me, who I am insulin resistant, regardless of if I'm pregnant or not. I've never been pre-diabetic or diabetic outside of pregnancy, but I can tell that I am very sensitive to carbs and sugar, which, anyways, it's like the plague of my existence, because of course that's, all I want to eat. But the minute that I found out I was diabetic, I went straight to what I knew with low carb diets. I cut out all sugar and I cut out the majority of carbs. Now, the dietitian in my OB's office said to stay around 30 grams of carbs per meal. I decided to dial that back even more. And so I'm trying to stay around 15 grams of carbs per meal and maybe like 5 to 7 grams of carbs for a snack. Now I'm testing my sugar. I was testing it every day, 4 times a day, 1 fasting and 3 after each meal. But because my sugar levels were so good, my doctors dialed that back to just a couple of days a week. So I do know which foods I react to differently. But anyways, 15 grams per meal and around 7 per snack. Now, I am not counting my carbs every time I put something into my mouth, but I'm pretty much eating the same thing every day for every meal. My snacks change up just a little bit depending on my mood, but I'm pretty much staying around that. Now, that probably means that I'm going over or under those carb counts for meals and snacks, but I can't live that way. I can't live in a world where I'm constantly counting things. So I've figured out a couple of meals that really work for me, and that's what I stick with. And I eat primarily at home, but for breakfast every morning, I have one. It's a Olay Extreme, and Extreme is just with an X, Treme. I've found them at Publix and Walmart. They are low carb, high fiber wraps. They look like tortillas, like multi-grain tortillas. I have one of those. I believe it's 5 net carbs per wrap, per tortilla. So I have one of those. I eat 3 eggs because I need the protein, and I can tolerate that, and it keeps me full really until about 10:30. I eat 3 eggs. I eat 2 pieces of bacon every morning in the wrap. I also have about 1/2 cup of berries. Berries are a pretty good fruit to go to for diabetics. And then I put sugar-free whipped cream on it. Now, when I did my Whole30 in 2015, I really did learn a lot about artificial sweeteners. And so I typically have stayed away from, artificially sweetened products besides stevia. And I think there's a lot of debate around stevia. But it helps with my sugar cravings, and it really does make me feel like I'm eating something, like a treat in the morning, and it makes the diabetes so much easier to handle. So I do have that. It's just a couple of swirls of the whipped cream in the morning, and then I have my water bottle. I usually drink one of these, and it's a 40-ounce Hydro Flask. I usually drink one of these with breakfast, and then after I eat breakfast, then I drink my coffee. And my coffee, I just do regular coffee, but I put the sugar-free Italian cream sweetener in it. Again, with the artificial sweeteners, especially with pregnancy, a lot of people kind of throw up in arms about it, but in my opinion, it's so minuscule, and it's really the only artificial sweetener I have during the day, unless I have a cup of yogurt later on during the day, but we'll get to that. All right, so as far as lunch, when I eat lunch, I typically eat the same basic things every day. I will eat grilled chicken that's already prepared, because I can't really stand up to cook chicken, nor can I really handle raw chicken and then eat it immediately after. So I'll get the prepackaged grilled chicken strips from the freezer section or the deli, or I'll have rotisserie chicken that I get at Costco, and I'll have already sort of shredded that down and put it into the freezer, and I just break some of that off, probably about a cup of chicken, and I'll warm it up, and I'll do either one of 2 things. I'll either put cheese on it and just eat it like that, maybe with some ranch dressing, or I will put it into one of those Olay Extreme wraps. And then I always have a side salad, and the only salad that I can tolerate right now is butter lettuce. For whatever reason, my favorite spring mix is just not doing it for me right now. So I'll have that, I'll have walnuts, and I'll have ranch dressing. And I have that combination somewhere around there every day for lunch. Unless I've cooked a low-carb meal the night before for my family and there's leftovers, then I'll eat the leftovers. I also, instead of the salad, have a couple of times put the frozen mixed vegetables that Trader Joe's has. I'll put that in with the chicken, and I'll eat that with some cheese and ranch. But I have that every day for lunch. I don't even have to really think about it, and it's already there, and it takes me maybe 5 minutes to throw all of it together. So it's quick and easy, especially because I'm home by myself during the day. So I don't want to risk standing up for a long period of time and then something happening. So I have that, and then I usually will have either a LaCroix water, or I've gotten onto the sparkling water beverages. This one's from Target, but there is a Clearly American brand from Walmart, and I like those okay. They're sweet. LaCroix is not sweet, but these are sweetened, and every now and then if I just need to feel like I'm drinking something besides water all day, I'll get one of these sparkling waters and drink it. Sometimes I will have a cup of coffee after I eat lunch, another cup of coffee. Usually I'll do half calf or just decaf altogether, but I've started kind of laying off of that a little bit as my stomach starts to get a little bit more compact. For dinner, if I don't make a low carb meal for my family, which I can't do that every night. One, it's not the most favorite food meal for my growing family, but I just don't want to torture them with my diet. So I'll, when I do cook the low carb meal, that's what I eat. Usually it consists of cauliflower rice, a protein, some sort of sauce or cheese, and another vegetable, or a salad. But when I cook them something different that I know everybody will enjoy, then I will then either repeat like my chicken salad wrap cheese thing that I eat for lunch, or I will eat my breakfast again. It really helps for me not to have to think about it too much. So anyway, which doesn't happen very often. I mean, most times I can get away with cooking my family something that's low carb and then giving them macaroni or something on the side to carb it up for them. But I just eat something different. But if I don't have to think about it and it's easy to prepare, then that's usually what I go with. So I'm going to fly through the snacks because I basically eat the same snacks every day. But these are all have been, for me, proven to not spike my blood sugar. So in the morning, the very first snack that I have is around 10 or 10:30, just depending on when I've tested my blood sugar. But sometimes I have it even before 10. But I always, 9 times out of 10, will have one of these protein bars. They are 4 net carbs. I got them at Costco. It's a Kirkland brand protein bar. And they only come in 2 flavors, chocolate brownie and cookie dough. And they are tolerable. Oh, they're also gluten-free. But they are tolerable. They are not the most delicious thing in the world. But it definitely fills me up until lunch. And it does give me energy. So I think it's a really good option. At 21 grams of protein too. And when you're pregnant with twins, they tell you to really increase your protein. I don't know what you're supposed to be eating. I don't know why, but increase your protein. Every once in a while, I will have, if I don't have the bar, I'll drink one of these shakes. These have 30 grams of protein. I got them at Costco, but I think you can get them other places. And they have 2 net carbs. And they're good. They're not great, and for whatever reason, they don't fill me up as much as the protein. It's just not as easy for me to eat or drink, and it doesn't fill me up as much as the protein bar does. So I eat the protein bar 9 times out of 10. In the afternoons, it's a little bit different because I have a little bit more time. So I'll either eat an apple with some peanut butter, and I like these little cups right here, especially if I'm on the go, if I'm taking my daughter to an activity or something. I just grab this and an apple and go on with my day. But I'll have that, and it does okay keeping me full. Every now and then, I will eat one of these Atkins bars. This is delicious. It's delicious. It tastes like a payday. And especially if I'm, for whatever reason, going to be around a lot of sweets that afternoon. I have kids, and they, have have things in the afternoon that involve cookies and things like that. So it just helps me get through those little sugar cravings. These do raise my blood sugar a little bit more than the other snacks I've mentioned, but I'm still within normal levels. One other snack that is just amazing are these Smokehouse almonds. They are so much better than regular almonds. There's a lot of sodium in them, so I don't eat them every day. But they're delicious and they fill me up. And it's 2 net carbs per serving, 1 ounce serving. So I usually have probably 2 ounces of those almonds when I do eat them. And those are my on-the-go snacks. So I'll just throw them into a baggie and go. In the evenings, sometimes I don't eat the evening snack, and I usually regret it because by 3 o'clock in the morning my stomach is usually growling. So I try to remember to eat it, and if I haven't passed out too early. But some of the things that I like are, I'll have, if I have a sweet tooth, this Lily's chocolate is amazing. I got this particular one at Whole Foods, but you can get these online. And I really like the salted almond. This one is the almond. I've had the orange and the coconut. But anyways, the almonds are my favorite. I like getting the nuts in it because I just feel like it's adding some protein. And you can have half of one of these bars for, I think 4 or 5 net carbs, which is really good. I never eat half of a bar. I usually just break off maybe a quarter of it. And it does the trick when my sweet tooth is going out of control. So these are, Lily's also makes these chocolate morsels. These are really good in a cup of low sugar yogurt. I do the 000 yogurt, 000 Greek yogurt. I don't remember who makes it. But I'll do the 000 yogurt with a few of these in there, like 10 or 15. And that's sort of my dessert in the evening, and it has protein, and it's low in sugar, and it really, like, I can go until about 5 o'clock in the morning and not be starving. So those are my snacks. That's my eating plan. I'm sure that it would, you know, in normal circumstances, it's probably a whole lot healthier to have a more various diet with less artificial sweeteners. But this is how I'm coping with it, and my weight and my blood sugars are all doing really well. My babies are doing well, and they're growing just fine. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But you know, when you research gestational diabetes, it can be very overwhelming. The information can be very overwhelming. And my biggest piece of advice would be just to simplify it. And simplify your eating plan and simplify what you're doing as far as diet, and not read too much information, because diabetes itself is a huge topic and it affects so many people. And you know, I think that you've got a lot going on with trying to keep yourself going, keep your babies healthy, keep your head above water because you're probably really tired by this point. So my biggest piece of advice is just to simplify it, get through the 10 or so weeks of your diabetes diagnosis, and then also, you know, sort of be thinking ahead of what you're going to do after you deliver. But anyways, I hope it was helpful, and if you have any questions, just leave them down below, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks so much.